How it is Friday, guys. We have made it to Friday. Today we're going to be talking about if there is instant gratification in sports cards or not. Stay tuned. Hello to all my sports card collector, investor, all of the collectibles friends out there in the universe. Hopefully everyone is having an amazing Friday morning. We have almost made it to the weekend. What sort of weekend plans do you have? Are you watching football this weekend, hanging out with family? Let me know in the comments. Hope that everyone is doing well, staying healthy, and overall just having a good time, because you know what, guys? We talk about it on the channel all the time. You get one life, one shot at life, no time at all to really be overly concerned about any one thing, at least for me. Unless it's a big health issue or something, I'm not focused on it. Let's really make the most and enjoy this one life that we've got. All right, today we're going to be talking about just a general topic, instant gratification. I think that it's intriguing because just the human psychology, human behavior of what it means and what our society has kind of become over time. And many of you already know this. This isn't anything new. We do get kind of this instant gratification, these dopamine rushes of entertainment all the time, whether that's, scrolling through Instagram or watching our favorite YouTube channels, subscriptions, or Hulu, Amazon, Netflix. All the stuff is at our fingertips. It's on demand. We live in this on-demand world right now, and the dopamine is just going. We always have it going. There's always something, to entertain us. There's always a 30-second clip of a video or, 5-minute read article. There's always something quick. So many just kind of quick hits, that get us throughout the day. But we've almost become, I think, desensitized to it. There's so much content out there in the universe, just in general, that I think that instant gratification is kind of this thing that's been built into our brain now. And honestly, I think this is a real thing. I think that people, if they don't kind of, get that instant gratification, they just move on to something else. And I don't think it's limited to younger generations. I know a lot of kind of older generations, they always say, oh, it's the millennials. It's, the younger generations. They don't have any sort of attention span. I would argue that just about every generation doesn't have much of an attention span now, because everything is on our phone at our fingertips. And so it's a wild time, and the times have changed. In sports cards, it's really no different. If you go onto IG, you can literally scroll down and look at people's collections, all the different cards that have been shared throughout the day. You could spend an hour just kind of going through that. It's constant, and it's always updating. It's always updating. You can always read stories about cards. You can look at cards and see what's going on with them. The same thing goes if you're looking to buy sports cards. If you're on StarStock or eBay or ComC or any of the platforms, you're on Golden Auctions, there are always cards at your fingertips to buy at any given point. So instant gratification, yes, as far as the availability of cards, absolutely. And there's so much inventory. There's so many different things. Even if we're talking about scarce and rare stuff, there's a lot of different scarce and rare stuff for many different players, which kind of sounds like an oxymoron. There's a lot of scarce or rare things, but in reality, if you're collecting Michael Jordan, does he have some very, very rare cards? Yeah, PMGs. Does he have rare inserts? Sure, absolutely. His rookie card can be kind of tough to get in a high grade, but all in all, there's availability. It's not impossible to find stuff for that particular player, or really many players at all. So, we do have that kind of instant gratification of like, look, if we need that fix, we can get on eBay and, window shop all day if we want to. But I think that one thing that I try to focus on, and I think is a good kind of lesson, is more focused buying, and more focused collecting or investing. And what I mean by that is a lot of times, for me, I'll get excited about something in particular. I go searching for it, and then I end up maybe buying a card over the next few days because I'm excited about it, without taking more time to just kind of think through maybe a strategy, or just kind of think through to have kind of a focus with it. Really kind of getting focused on what I'm looking for, the type of card I'm looking for. There's such a huge research element, especially when you're going back. If you're operating in modern, ultra modern stuff, then maybe not as much. But if you go back into kind of niche sets, vintage stuff, there's so many different, there's card sets that'll pop up that you've never heard of. All of a sudden there's a card on eBay and you're like, what is that? And of course there's research that goes into that. And so I do think that, the delayed gratification of really kind of putting in that work and the research and understanding kind of what sets, or at least trying to understand, the availability of a particular player's cards or availability of that particular set. Is that a special set? Could that be an underpriced set based on other cards of that particular player? Has it just something that people haven't caught on to yet? I think that's part of the fun. A lot of the fun in investing in sports cards or collecting sports cards is trying to get ahead of that next curve. And I'm talking about those niche sets, that are out there. So I don't know, it's something that I'm trying to do more of and really just kind of get a little bit more focused. But I do like the fact though that I'm into a lot of different things. So I'm fairly diversified because of that. I'm into a lot of different things, but I do like that, that my stuff is varied, but there is some consistency to it as well. I do try to find scarcity. I got into a couple of cards this week that I'm excited to show, probably on the next Off-Centered show next Wednesday. I should have one of those cards to be able to share, and I'll share kind of the why behind it. I'll spoil it a little bit. It does fall in the GOAT conversation, but it's not exactly what you would think of when you think of kind of, the GOAT and, GOATs and sports cards, etc. It's a little different, but I'll make sure to share that with you next week once I get those in hand. But yeah, delayed gratification, I think in life too, when we're just talking about life, that old saying, a fool's rush in, there's a great song too, and a great movie, with Salma Hayek and, the guy from Friends, Chandler from Friends, Fool's Rush In, great comedy from the 90s. And I'm a big Salma Hayek fan in general, so good stuff there. The saying is fools rush in, and it's, pertaining to relationships, but it's the same sort of thing. Delayed gratification usually pays off. When you don't, rush in for relationships or finances or sports cards, whatever that thing is, wealth building, especially too. Wealth is not built in a day. Rome is not built in a day. It wasn't built in a day. And, overall wealth, personal finance type strategies take time. It all just takes time. And I think that you'll notice that just over time, you can really build a lot of great things, but it just takes time. It's not going to happen overnight. So guys, thank you very much for joining me here today. Let me know your thoughts on instant gratification. Do you think that too many people are getting into, breaks or getting into, just kind of the quick money potentially, in sports cards without taking enough time, to really be patient and just be okay with that delayed gratification? Because while, yes, there is some instant gratification in this hobby, there's a lot of it, frankly. There is a lot to be said for, I think, building out that collection, really kind of being patient. And even if you are investing, not necessarily just short-term investing, but also more long-term investing, I think that delayed gratification of really holding on to something for an extended period of time can add value. So guys, this is the topic of the day. Let me know your thoughts on instant gratification in life and in cards. Are you affected by it? Give me your overall thoughts in the comments. I appreciate you joining me here tonight. And I will talk to you again tomorrow, probably on Saturday, but definitely over the weekend. Stay healthy, stay awesome, and I will talk to you again later.